Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I'm putting this video together today for those that may be considering going forward with the HyProCure surgery to correct their flat feet. I am 6 years in post-surgery, and I am telling you right now that I am electing to have this stent removed from my foot and have the HyProCure surgery reversed so I can go back to flat feet. Yes, I am going back to having flat feet as a result of this surgery. I want to tell you why. All right, so for those with flat feet, we all know flat feet suck. Hey, it's not sexy. Let's be real here. It misshapes your shoes. Imagine a pair of Jordans after 3 weeks with flat feet. Bust. Primary ailments at that time were really just my knees. I never had really any back issues. Everything else was good. It was just kind of the insides of my knees that I noticed as I guess I was getting older in age. A lot more soreness after physical workout. So I get the surgery. For me personally, the reason why I did it, outside of the fact I was having issues with my knees, was aesthetic reasons too. I'm just keep it real. Listen, I went the HyProCure route, but it wasn't a good look. All I wanted was an arch. That's all I was looking for. An arch in my foot, like the beautiful people. Okay, a little bit about myself. Let me put this in perspective. At the time, I was 42 years old when I got the surgery. So I researched HyProCure quite a bit before I elected to get the surgery. And one of the interesting things that I learned about the HyProCure solution has a very high success rate. I'm talking, I believe it's over 90%. So they're actually proclaiming that 90% of the people that got this surgery actually had positive outcomes. Well, as luck would have it, I happen to be part of the 10 people that rejected the surgery. 6 years post-surgery, it's miserable. It's something that I've been dreading and telling my wife, this has to come out. I want to tell everyone this surgery is not for everybody. There's some key things and takeaways that you need to be aware of before you go ahead and elect to get this surgery. The first is, if you are over 40 years old, I don't think you should get the surgery. And you guys got to be aware of that, especially considering a couple of things. If you're overweight, if you're over 40, if you're not really that physically active and you've been walking around with flat feet for over 40 years of your life, I don't think you should do this surgery. This surgery would be better for someone much younger, easier recovery process, and they want to just have their misaligned feet corrected. I think that's this type of surgery. But it also depends primarily on you being a candidate for it and the doctor. Be careful with this surgery. If your doctor is not aware of a couple of things, such as whether or not you have any leg length issues in the beginning, the pre-screening process to make sure that you're a candidate. You need to make sure that they run an MRI, you need to look at x-rays, and they also need to look at how bad your flat feet are. I know there are certain flat feet that they can't correct with this surgery. You have to go through this screening process, and your doctor should be the one to do this. So the HyProCure website notes that the procedure itself, the HyProCure surgery, is minimally invasive, meaning it doesn't require any large incisions of any kind, and it's not the type of surgery that when they go into your foot they start, adding nails and into bone. You don't have to touch bone. It's all going into soft tissue. You're talking about a 2 to 3 inch incision on the side of your foot. That minimal. I mean, you could stitch it up and have the stitches out in a couple of weeks, and yes, it seems fairly simple in theory, right? Oh, you're taking a titanium stent and you're putting it in an area called your sinus tarsi. Yes, I learned this from my podiatrist. I am not a doctor, I just play one on TV. One of the things that you should understand is that that area is what basically stabilizes your heel and your ankle from turning in. So in theory, when you put this stent into that area, it's basically working as a doorstop to prevent your heel and your ankle from collapsing. Yes, that's the whole surgery in itself. It only takes 20 minutes for them to do this. but it takes some serious recovery time. That was one thing that happened with me. They said, oh, 3 to 6 weeks. Me, I'm 42 years old. I'm still in somewhat decent physical shape. I mean, I could do, a little bit something. One thing that I didn't think or even have any inclination that would be an issue was the recovery time. I actually was thinking, all right, 3 weeks. Man, it was more like 3 months, and that's per foot. So during the pre-screening process, I do recall the doctor telling me I had a small leg lift issue. Small, right leg being shorter than the left, but nothing to be worried about. Now, me being the man that I am, it was nothing I ever noticed. I mean, I'm from the neighborhood. I got a natural swag about myself. I mean, when I walk with a little limp. That's just how you do it, So if that's the leg lift issue, then so be it. But once I got the surgery, it accentuated that issue, exacerbated it. And that's where it all went left. Post-surgery, after maybe a year or so, once I got both feet done, I noticed a leg length discrepancy. The left foot and ankle, once I had that stent in place there, basically created this leg length issue that was so noticeable and just threw me off. And it just was like, this is killing me. And I told the doctor this. I said, listen, doc, I'm not feeling this. Yo, this leg length issue is killing me. And his initial solution to the leg lift issue was to give me a heel lift. I mean, the lift offered some temporary satisfaction, but really nothing sustainable. But after a while, it just didn't seem natural. So I'll tell you another interesting story that happened to me post-surgery after 1 year. I ended up tearing a labrum where your leg and your hip meet, or your joint area. I went back to the same doctor that did the surgery, and I told him, I was like, man, every time I lift my leg, I got this pain, and it was like in the beginning, it was really bad. He took out an ultrasound basically machine to try to see if he could see it. He didn't see anything. There's nothing he could do. I ended up going to an orthopedic surgeon. The orthopedic surgeon says, listen, we can take care of that for you. In order for us to be able to do so, get an MRI, see what's going on, get a little deeper, see where the tear is at. And this is just an easy arthroscopic scope, and we go in there and fix that. It'll be done. You'll be back in no time. So I'm like, all right, good, let's go for it. Go figure. My insurance wouldn't approve the MRI. Insurance is very important. Things that you learn. They approved another method where they basically have to take a needle. Listen to this. They have to take a needle with some dye or some shit and put it into your hip area and then inject that and then go ahead and basically put you under an x-ray to be able to really see it. I forget what they call some contrast type. I don't like needles. I know. I'm 6 foot, 220, but I don't like no damn needles. I tell the doctors all the time, since I was a kid, I felt like that. I think it's because when you grow up in low income housing and you got to go to the clinic, everybody know about the clinic. You got to go to a clinic and you ain't dealing with the best doctors because they got about 50 other people to see that day. Trust me, those needles hurt. And as a kid, I always remember, I said, listen, I ain't doing that, bruh. So guess what? I'm living now with the torn labrum that honestly, the tear, I can live with it. It's just one of those things. Just like when you get in your 40s, you can just come up and say, hey, listen, there's certain pains that you have with your joints and shit. You say, hey, is it need for surgery? Nah, I can live with it. That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Any real dude with it. So, tore that as a result of this surgery. Now, remember, the left side, it's been the one side that's been really, really creating the issues for me. The right side, however, now have snapping hip issues. This is some extra 40-year-old, thanks for beating up my body and then putting some foreign object in my foot type ish. And this is what you get. That's called karma. Your body telling you, listen, it doesn't work like that. All these things are starting to kind of fall apart on me. And I'm saying to myself, I didn't have any of these issues before I had the surgery. I always said that. I kept telling my wife that. I said, yo, listen. Yo, I don't remember none of this shit, man, before I had this surgery. I am electing. I like that word, electing. You see how many times I say, I am electing. I elected. Anyways, I am electing that I get this surgery reversed and go back to flat feet. I'm going there. Quick note, the doctor that did the surgery Actually, I went back and I told you about this character, right? I go back and say, yo, listen, this is like literally, this is like 3 years in. I said, I am not feeling this. I want it gone. He says, listen, I don't think you should do it, but if you want to do it, I'll just do both at the same time. Yeah, it takes about 15 minutes each foot. Let's take it out. I'm thinking to myself, and this is just logic shit. I'm saying to myself, both at the same time? So I'm going to basically be totally incapacitated. I ain't going to be able to do anything with my feet elevated and healing. And I'm like, that just didn't sit right with me. One thing I read was that this surgery can be reversed with no long-term impact. And the stent's going into soft tissue, which ultimately makes it easier for you to recover. I mean, that's what they proclaim on the website. So the doctor that did the surgery suggested against it. He talked me out of it, basically. He said, no, listen, I don't think you should do it. I recall walking out of that office feeling defeated. And it was just more time and more misery after that. Hey, this thing, again, has been the bane of my existence. These things in your feet, you never get 100% adapted to some foreign object in your feet. I don't care who you are. I believe that this surgery, it's not the immediate effects. It's that after you've done this for 4 or 5 years, God forbid you break your ankle or you do something where you need the surgery and they got to remove it. It's one of those surgeries that you get, but I think you're going to need to have it either removed or replaced later on in life. You grow, remember, your weight, there's a lot of variables and things to take into consideration that will impact how these things make you feel in your feet. I could feel this thing. They tell you that. You're going to feel something there, but you know, doctors, they make everything, oh, yeah, you're going to feel a little something, but it's not going to be, yeah, get the fuck, excuse my language, get out of here. They should have told you, yo, listen, you're going to feel something if you run, do something, jump off of something. This thing could actually, you know, go out of place and create havoc for you. I had that issue in my left. So again, I went to see several doctors, and the consensus was that after looking at the x-rays, they didn't think that the implant looked bad. They all said that it looked as if it was implanted correctly. It didn't appear to look misaligned or create any issues. But my body was telling me otherwise. I mean, there were moments in time after years of having this in my ankle, this thing started stabbing me arbitrarily on my left foot, which is again the worst. We got to the point where I had to subconsciously look down as I walk to avoid running into an issue that would create this pain. It's the worst feeling in the world. I endured this for 6 years. I found the time again for work. I said, listen, I'm taking this time, it's holidays. I got, my deductible paid up. I'm going for it. I went back onto the HyProCure website. As luck would have it, I met a doctor named Dr. Alex Tievsky. From a listing order of top accolades, certifications, he had a stamp of Center of Excellence next to his name, meaning he's performed hundreds of these. He's performed the reversal, he's performed the implanting, he's just so knowledgeable. I met this doctor. Hey, here are my issues. And his words to me were, you know what? Listen, it's not for everybody. But what I can tell you is, it's a very easy procedure for me to reverse. That's what he told me. And I really believe this guy. So I said, you know what, doc? You the man. I'm going with you. I am going in tomorrow to have surgery. It is now December 15th. I have surgery on December 16th. That's a Monday. So stay tuned. I'm gonna take you through the surgery and then post-surgery and keep you guys abreast of my journey. Hey YouTube. So I'm back. Today's a very important day. I am going in for surgery to have the reversal of the HyProCure procedure done. So I told you guys about my experience since the inception of having this surgery. I was displeased with the outcome. And I'll keep you guys abreast of my outcome. The doctors encouraged that I do not do both feet at the same time. So today I'll just, again, be doing the left foot. He's also encouraged that we allow that foot to heal. He feels like maybe when we take the stent out, it'll level both of my legs. Once I'm fully recovered, they'll customize an orthotic, supplement or offset flat foot pronating. More to come. I'm a work in progress. I hope you guys learn from my events in my life. So folks, Still trying to keep a smile on my face. A little nervous right now. About to go through the procedure. Had to kind of remove everything, all your belongings. You know what you're supposed to do when you go to surgery. If you don't, usually you go through a pre-screening process. They ask you a number of questions, allergic to anything, how many surgeries you've had. Of course, I had to tell them about me having this surgery done. And then, of course, now doing the reverse of the HyProCure surgery. So, more to come. Wish me luck and prayers. All right, guys, so I just saw the anesthesiologist. I'm doing general anesthesia. And then you have an hour of recovery before they let you out of the hospital. So, say a prayer for your boy. See you guys in a minute. All right. Hey, YouTube. It's your boy. I made it. Back on the other side. Yes. Thank God. What an experience. Right now I'm walking with a little cast on. Foot is numbed up. So, more to come. Hey YouTube. Back in business. Look at that. Bingo. Back at the crib after the surgery. Thank God. First and foremost. Secondly, the foot is wrapped up and it's time for a controlled descent into agony. Yeah, that means the recuperating process. So I'm here, I'm at home, I'm relaxing. So far, so good. I've took one ibuprofen, 800 milligrams. Right now, everything is good. Just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what my foot looks like. It's wrapped up, as you can see. No pain. And I was just telling my wife, I feel a sense of relief. Like I'm walking around and I'm able to walk. I'm able to apply pressure to my foot. Stay tuned. Fingers crossed. This is a good thing. So I'll keep you guys posted. Alrighty. So quick updates, guys. I'm walking around, no pain. I've taken one actually ibuprofen, 800 milligram. I took that last night, and since then I've been good. And then this morning, got up. There was no real swelling. I was able to walk on it. I'm actually putting weight on it now. It's my second day post-surgery, and in all honesty, I'm not feeling any pain, which is a good sign, of course. This, the foot is still quite swollen, as you guys can see here. But for the most part, from a pain standpoint, there is none. And this is, you're talking about the removal of hardware that's been in my foot for 6 years. And just the thought of, think about that. They're going in your foot to remove something, and there's no pain afterward. Amazing. Hey, thanks to the hands of Dr. Alex Tievsky. Hey guys, not to hold you up like a man with no arms, I'm going to check in with you guys in the next 2 weeks. And then what I'm going to do is make sure you understand what it's like after having this reverse surgery. If you love and like this video, or don't even like it, press, whatever you choose to do. Comment below if you have questions or concerns, anything that I can address for you. Please feel free to ask below. I'll try to respond as soon as possible. And the best of luck on your journey, whatever you decide to do. Please hit like and subscribe, and feel free to let me know how things pan out for you as well. All right, I'm out.